For the past 2 years, Kanye West convinced the world he was the one man Hollywood couldn't silence. He sold us the image of a prophet, a man too real for the industry. But in January 2026, the revolutionary stopped fighting and started copping pleas. Suddenly, the truth he was willing to lose $1 billion for has been rebranded as a mental breakdown. He's now blaming a 20-year-old car accident for the very words he claimed were God's plan. But as he attempts to scrub his record and get back into the good graces of the elite, we have to ask, was he ever actually a soldier against the system? Or was that just what he wanted the world to believe?
Black mirrored me. You already made everybody think I'm crazy. You already took my family away. You already separated all my friends.
I don't want my Peloton done shit right now, bro. Because guess what? These Yeezys gonna sell.
Control, you get what I'm saying? They control Shaq, they can control Charles Barkley, they can control LeBron James, they can control Jay-Z and Beyonce, but they can't control me. You see, it ain't no name, I'm on name. It's up.
Notice Kanye is apologizing today for, in his words, reckless behavior. He took out this full-page ad in the Wall Street Journal. Yeah, he did, titled, "To Those I've Hurt."
This isn't the first time Kanye is apologizing for his wild remarks. At this point, it's a part of the Ye rollout. Every album cycle follows the same blueprint. Shock the world, disappear into the shadows, and resurface with a mental health plea just as the album is announced. While Kanye apologizing for his marketing stunts, breakdowns, has become expected, this recent apology wasn't like any of the others. It wasn't a leaked text or an interview clip of him ranting. Kanye got a full-page ad in the Wall Street Journal. This choice of medium tells you everything you need to know about the target audience. This time, Kanye wasn't talking to his fans. He was talking to the banks, the distributors, and the CEOs who took everything away from him. In this letter, Ye points back to the year 2002, the moment his jaw was shattered in a near-fatal car accident. He's claiming the same accident left a deeper injury inside of his skull, an undiagnosed frontal lobe fracture that he says explains his spiral into anti-Semitism and extremist rhetoric. The letter read, "To those I've hurt, 25 years ago, I was in a car accident that broke my jaw and caused injuries to the right frontal lobe of my brain. At the time, the focus was on the visible damage, the fracture, the swelling, and the immediate physical trauma. The deeper injury, the one inside my skull, went unnoticed. Comprehensive scans were not done, neurological exams were limited, and the possibility..."
Yeah, that brain damage and shit, that could really change a person, you know? Like, shit, I just seen some people have some brain damage, you know what I'm saying, and get some type of, they start, they become a whole different person, and yeah, it's crazy.
Of a frontal lobe injury was never raised. It wasn't properly diagnosed until 2023. That medical oversight caused serious damage to my mental health and led to my bipolar type 1 diagnosis. Bipolar disorder comes with its own defense system, denial. When you're manic, you don't think you're sick. You think everyone else is overreacting. You feel like you're seeing the world more clearly than ever, when in reality, you're losing your grip entirely. Once people label you as crazy, you feel as if you cannot contribute anything meaningful to the world. It's easy for people to joke and laugh it off, when in fact, this is very serious, debilitating disease you can die from. The scariest thing about this disorder is how persuasive it is when it tells you you don't need help. It makes you blind, but convinced you have insight, you feel powerful.
Man, that's some real Kanye shit right there. If you don't know, that is Kanye West in the right in the little black suit, and to the left is DJ Academics. Kanye is one hell of a character, I'll tell you that.
Certain, unstoppable. I lost touch with reality. Things got worse the longer I ignored the problem. I said and did things I deeply regret. Looking back, I became detached from my true self. In that fractured state, I gravitated towards the most destructive symbol I can find, the swastika, and even sold t-shirts bearing it. I regret and I am deeply mortified by my actions in that state, and I am committed to accountability, treatment, and meaningful change. It does not excuse what I did though. I am not a Nazi or an anti-Semite. I love Jewish people. To the black community, which held me down through all the highs and lows and the darkest times, the black community is unquestionably the foundation of who I am. I am so sorry to have let you down. I love us. In early 2025, I fell into a 4-month-long manic episode of psychotic, paranoid, and impulsive behavior that destroyed my life. As the situation became increasingly unsustainable, there was times I didn't want to be here no more. The letter is masterfully calculated. It frames his actions as an out-of-body experience, something he had no control over, to try to paint a narrative that in fact, he was just a victim. But the timing of all of this seems to paint a different picture entirely. Ask yourself, if the diagnosis happened in 2023, why did he wait until 2026 to tell us? Because the truth is, Kanye isn't apologizing to those everyday fans he offended. He's catering directly to the elite who control the music industry, the very people he claimed he was exposing. If this apology was about those he offended, he could have posted this on his social media. But the fact that it was an ad in the Wall Street Journal lets you know this was for the gatekeepers of the industry. For 2 years, Kanye tried to convince us he didn't need them. He stood on stages and told the world he was the new Steve Jobs, the new Walt Disney, a man who can build a global empire from the dirt up without the help of the elite gatekeepers. He released Donda 2 on a $200 plastic puck called the Stem Player. He sold $20 jerseys on his website. He claimed he was finally free from the contracts and the industry handlers, but he didn't make it out of the building before he started copping pleas. While Kanye going independent sounds like the shift the industry needs, in reality, he can't exist without the elite handlers. Kanye is an industry puppet. He will always be an industry puppet. Without the industry controlling him, he's bound to crash and burn, just like we witnessed over the past few years. While Kanye began his Christian era and followed it with his rebellious era, I honestly believe it was all a plan and Kanye was being used to break into the Christian world. I felt that all of this was a giant act, and I believe
Yeah, basically, this like the same thing Beyonce trying to do with trying to become a country singer. You know what I'm saying? She did a country tour. You know what I'm saying? I heard Jay-Z was paying country radio stations to play her music. Yeah, the industry crazy.
was proven right by the many stunts he pulled throughout the years. But as long as his PR stunt lasted, I started to believe Kanye likely had other intentions with his move. He was trying to mobilize his fans and use them for something else entirely. It seems he was trying to free himself from the contracts that owned him and become independent so he could be the only one who profits from Kanye. The only problem is, he had to destroy his career and credibility so the record labels would finally release him. Kanye came up with the perfect plan. He was going to get himself canceled, so the labels would have to drop him to distance themselves. Kanye also knew that once the labels turned on him, he would lose all his connections. So he creates this entire prophet hero persona to make it look like he was being silenced for exposing the industry. This way, his fans would be tricked into supporting him even harder because they see.
Man, Kanye playing a dangerous game. Dangerous game. Messing with the industry like that, but I tell you.
Him being silenced by the industry. Kanye thought he was going to get kicked off the labels but keep all the fans who would buy whatever he sells them. He thought it was the perfect plan. When he got kicked off the labels, it sounded like a victory to him, until the elite vanished him from the system he so heavily relied on. He lost his label support, he lost his access to the big brand sponsors, he lost his playlisting, and most importantly, he lost his big machine marketing. Kanye was stripped of everything that made him Kanye. When the fans didn't support him like he expected, he knew he had to find his way back to the puppet masters. So what did he do? He ran back to the record labels. On January 29, 2026, it was confirmed that Kanye had signed a massive distribution deal with the independent music giant Gamma to release his next album, Bully. But Gamma isn't just any label. It's the new label run by one of the most powerful executives in the music industry, Larry Jackson. Larry is the perfect person to fix Kanye's damaged relationships. With a few calls from Larry, it's a green light for him. It's his ticket back to mainstream success. It's the infrastructure he lost when he burned his bridges with Adidas and the majors. But companies like Gamma don't partner with...
Who the hell is this guy? He looks like a light-skinned Kobe Bryant. The fuck? Tell me dude in the middle don't look like I'm light-skinned Kobe Bryant, though. His hairline is just up a little bit more. But damn. That's crazy.
Liabilities. Like every label, they partner with profitable assets. The Wall Street Journal ad wasn't a revelation. It was a closing condition. He had to fix his mess to get the deal, the distribution, and the elite back on his side. Kanye was likely instructed to say exactly what he said in that letter. He had to prove he was fixed before they would let him back into the room. This explains everything we have been seeing in the last few months. As you might recall, we recently spoke about Kanye apologizing to a New York City rabbi, where he was seen on video face to face with him.
We're really blessed to be able to sit here with you today and just take accountability.
Yeah, because basically Kanye, he said, you know, I don't know if y'all remember that rant, but he went on a rant saying Hail Hitler, and he was talking about the Holocaust and stuff like that. You know, that's basically disrespecting the Jews. So then next thing you know, this happens, and he's like apologizing to the Jews.
I was dealing with some various issues dealing with bipolar.
This was the first step in his plans to rebrand himself for this new label deal. Then he ended up fixing his relationship with the gatekeepers, the Kardashians, spending Christmas with Kim and his kids. Now, after the deal with Gamma is officially inked, Kanye puts this apology ad in the media. We are witnessing the Kanye factory reset right in front of us. He realized that he couldn't be Kanye while being independent. He couldn't be the biggest without the machine pushing him. It's like we're seeing with Drake. Drake seems to want out of his deal with Universal. Why else would he sue them? He wants them to let him go. But unlike Kanye, he isn't willing to destroy everything to get there. Drake isn't saying insane things to get himself canceled. Instead, he's trying to use the courts to get out of his contract. It seems that Kanye learned his lesson this time around. Now ask yourself, is this the story of a man who was dealing with a breakdown the only way he could? Or is it the story of a man who tried to play his fans as fools? For 2 years, we watched the independent Kanye experiment. We watched him burn every bridge, insult every gatekeeper, and declare himself the only man Hollywood couldn't touch. But in 2026, Kanye fully gave up that fight and gave into the industry. The revolution is officially over. The prophet didn't win the war. He just negotiated the terms of his surrender. Kanye West hasn't been healed. He's been factory reset. At the end of it all, he's back exactly where he started. Just another puppet of the industry. Well, I'm gonna end this one here.
Damn, it's a crazy little situation we got here, man. It's basically like Kanye West is being rebranded. You know, he tried to go against the industry. He saw that, you know, in the industry, you know, the elites is the one that's, you know, running the big show. And, you know, he basically had to get back with the industry. And I ain't really heard nothing from Kanye in a minute, but, you know, Kanye West will probably come back acting different as hell. Y'all saw him in that little video when he was with the people with the big ass little beards and shit. He looked hella weird right there. But yeah, man, let me know what you guys think about this situation here, man. Like, comment, subscribe.